Okay, so we believe that a plant based diet is better than an animal based diet because it aligns more with health and sustainability. Plant based diets support lower disease risk, improve health benefits, and they're cheaper and more accessible than meat based diets.
We are against plant based proteins and for animal based proteins because they're healthier for you and they're more natural for your body because they're less processed.
Okay, so for our first point, supporting a plant based diet is that we think they're better for your overall health. They lower your rates of like heart disease and they lower blood pressure. They also reduce risk of type 2 diabetes and it lowers the risk of certain cancers. The reason for these reduced risks are because plants are really rich in fiber and antioxidants and anti-inflammatory components. They're also lower in saturated fat and do not contain any cholesterol. So they also do have a lower calorie density than meat products, which is beneficial in terms of weight management. And because they're rich in fiber, means that they can increase the feeling of fullness.
For our second point, we say that plant based proteins are a cheaper option than animal based proteins. A plant based diet is often more affordable because staple plant foods such as beans, fruits, oats, and vegetables cost significantly less per serving than meat products. These plant staples offer high nutritional value at a low price and can be bought in bulk. In contrast, animal based foods are more expensive to produce, transport, and store due to the resources they need to raise the animals, which then makes them higher prices for consumers. Also, plant based proteins can be viewed as cheaper because they reduce healthcare costs over time by lowering the risk of diseases that are linked to high meat based diets.
And for our last point, we have that plant proteins support your digestive health. Because plants are rich in natural fibers, they're very good for your digestive health. And animal-based foods contain no fiber, so you have to have fiber in your diet. So plants are able to fill in the nutritional gap. The fiber in plants promotes regular bowel movements while it's also feeding your good gut bacteria. And prebiotics are also found in some plants, which is needed because that's what your microbiome thrives on. And then these fibers help produce short chain fatty acids, which helps reduce inflammation, support your immune system, and it strengthens your colon lining.
While plant based proteins may offer many benefits, they also come with nutritional limitations. Most plant based proteins are incomplete, meaning they lack one or more essential amino acids. In contrast to animal proteins, um, animal proteins have all essential amino acids in proportions that are beneficial for the needs of the human body, including muscle repair, immune function, and enzyme production. Plant based proteins also risk deficiencies in nutrients commonly found in animal sources such as vitamin B12, iron, zinc, calcium, and omega 3 fatty acids. These nutrients either are absent in plants or present in low bioavailability forms. Without careful supplementation or meal planning, individuals can unintentionally fall short of these essential amino acids and nutrients.
For our second point, muscle growth and maintenance rely heavily on the protein quality, not just the quantity. Animal proteins are more digestible and have a higher leucine content, which is the key amino acid to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. Research shows that even when consuming the same amount of protein, individuals build more muscle than when their protein is derived from an animal source because of the amino acid profile is more optimal. And then lastly, additionally, many commercial plant-based proteins, especially meat substitutes, are highly processed. They contain additives, refined oils, and isolates that may be harder to digest and offer fewer whole food nutrients. Animal proteins, in their unprocessed forms, provide a more nutrient dense, bioavailable option.
So, pertaining to y'all's first point about plant-based products lacking essential nutrients that meat products do provide, meat products also are lacking in some essential nutrients like fiber, which we mentioned earlier. Um, for any healthy diet, it's important that you balance your nutrients and pay close attention to what you're eating to make sure you do have a healthy diet.
And then you also said that there's some plant-based like proteins that are super highly processed, but you also have to think like people are turning to fast food for their meat-based items, which are also like very highly processed. So there are lots of convenient plant-based options that are not as processed as fast food. So you really just have to look at what people are eating and just realize what is more processed.
Honestly, all proteins could essentially be bad. However, in our argument, we are not solely looking at fast foods, but more so whole cut meats, eggs, milk, and other natural forms of animal products.
In conclusion, animal based proteins are overall the better option as they're better for your body, higher quality, and a more natural protein source.
While y'all make some good points, we still believe that the lower cholesterol and additional heart benefits, as well as the extra accessibility, make plant proteins the better option.